Hello, this is Aaron. Just kind of on here again. It's been forever and a day since I've been on here last. I was, I think in my last post, you can't really hear too much, so I'm kind of redoing that one a little bit, mainly because I don't remember what all I had actually put in there. But I'm actually in a spot now where I can actually be kind of loud. I'm in the dorm by myself now, but I'm going to see if I can find a place where I can record or a time that I can record. So hopefully I'm talking loud and clear enough that this time you can hear me. It's 2 days after Christmas, the 27th of December 2010. And the last couple of months have not really been that great for me, which is why I have not been on here. My posts would not have been very good at all. And I would rather be on here talking about real things, issues, instead of just ranting and being mopey and making Eeyore look like a freaking Valley Girl cheerleader or something. So what I'm going to actually kind of talk about are my parents because that was what my last post was actually about. It was about my parents and their opinion about, sorry, my gender identity or kind of lack thereof in a way. As I said in my last post, I do identify as genderqueer, gender neutral mostly, but I still call myself genderqueer sometimes because it's kind of stuck in my head. And when I first heard about the term itself, that was what I heard. I never heard gender neutral until a couple months um, before I went to school and stuff. So um, I currently go to school and I actually live in a gender neutral housing situation, which is I kind of have my own room and I have 5 roommates and it's kind of co-ed. Um, and it's not a big deal at all. As the fact that I am gender neutral, and in fact, actually, my roommates are really cool about it. Sorry, the glare from my glasses is bugging the hell out of me. My roommates are really cool because they are the first people to actually call me they and their and them and you and Aaron. So those are all my pronouns that I would prefer to be called if everything went my way all the time. And I think that's more comfortable for me. When I came out, I guess, as gender neutral, I didn't know what it was called at the time. I don't think I even called it gender queer too much at the time. My, I told my father that I didn't want to be introduced as daughter. The way that I always felt about myself was that I tried being female and feminine and pretty, and I never was. And I think when I first started telling my dad these kinds of things a long time ago, he did say, you always were pretty, and I mean, it's your father, your parents, so it's kind of one of those. It feels kind of one of those obligatory, if I even put the word right, I'm sorry, things that your parents are to say. They love you, and no matter what, you are their offspring, you're their children. And so I didn't really believe it. And so when I told my father, actually last year, last around Christmas, last or not Christmas, but Thanksgiving last year, I had told him that when he introduced me to his friends, I didn't want to be introduced as his daughter, and I think that hurt his feelings, and it was not my intent at all. I just didn't feel like daughter suited me at all. I didn't look like anybody's daughter. I didn't feel like anybody's daughter. And um, I kind of felt like, and I still do feel this way sometimes, I feel like when I call myself female, or when I call myself she, or somebody calls me she, it feels wrong. It feels uncomfortable. I've tried being that, and it didn't work out, or it doesn't feel right, it doesn't fit. And I know a lot of people say that, oh, it must mean that I want to be a man, and that's not true either. And I think that's kind of something that my mom had a problem with, was that I don't think she would have had a problem if I actually wanted to be a guy, if I wanted to be called her son instead of her daughter. I didn't want to be either. I didn't want to be a boy. I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to be a man. I just want to be okay with the body I have. And after the surgery that I had, there was a big surgical cut down the middle of my stomach. And as it is, I don't have a very good body image of myself. And after having a scar, it's a very large scar um, up my stomach. So I have been dealing with that too, but that's different. It's something kind of something else. But my mom for a while had some issue. It wasn't a huge thing. It was, wrapping her mind around it. I think, it could have been a lot worse. I know it could have been a lot worse. But I was blessed with wonderful parents. And um, the first thing my dad said, at first he kind of was a little quiet. And when I told him I didn't want to be introduced as daughter, he said it must have been, the whole coming to this conclusion must have been rough for me. And there was a moment when he told my stepmom, and he did have a little bit of a tone, telling her, and I think that's when he really seemed a little bit um, hurt, or maybe a little, I don't know if he even knew what he felt. So I can't really speak for him, but he really it wasn't happy at all. So, but later in the year, I think I was telling him a little something on the phone, but I didn't really go too much into it. But I think that it was going to a transgender um, group meeting for the first time, and um, he sent me a card saying he didn't understand it, but he would he would be there to listen. So that, I mean, even though he doesn't understand, and but he was willing to listen, that was really cool of him. And my mom had a little trouble, kind of. She did have you're either a boy or you're a girl. It's either or. Can't. How could you be neither or in between? And I couldn't really explain it to her because I still struggle with that a lot. So um, I'm still struggling with my body now. It's slightly, in many ways, it's better because I'm not in a society of people who always look at me and they call me, you know, he or she. People still do, but I live on campus and my campus is kind of in the woods. So, um, I kind of go to slightly hippie school. So, um, it's kind of like, they're really open about that. I mean, they have gender neutral housing, and that's where I'm at. So they are really cool about uh, gender issues, and so people who live in this housing unit that I'm in, they're cool about that. So I'm surrounded by people who know that my kind of people exist. So um, they see me, and I'm still called he a lot, and I think I'd rather be called he than she. It does not mean that I want to be a man. It's just I'm not comfortable with the female pronoun, and it might be a personal issue that I need to deal with, but that is where I stand. If I could just be you, hey, Aaron, they, them, that would be perfect for me. Those are my pronouns. Z here, if that's more comfortable for you, I don't care. Um, so I'm at my 10-minute mark, and I think I pretty much said what I wanted to say regarding my parents. So I'm gonna probably come back either later tonight or tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye.